Well, hello students. I would just like to give you some clarification on some of the terms used in business research. To many of you, some of these terms might seem a little bit foreign, a little bit alienated. I don't want you to panic on it. No one's going to flunk this. In fact, we're getting together next Saturday, which I believe is going to be the 3rd of June, and we'll go over everything. But let me answer some simple questions. The first question is, wherever you put on the board the Saturday that we met, that first Saturday for your hypotheses, that is what you are going to use to do your research. Now, let me clarify that a little bit about a hypothesis. A hypothesis is nothing more than where you think your research is going to be centered on based on what you're writing about. In other words, what I'm saying to you is this. If you are writing your research on proving that the sky is blue when it rains, well, that means that, all right, we all know that when the sky is blue, it doesn't rain. But that's what you believe now, before you do your research. And that's the whole point of why we do research. Because the limited knowledge that we have now on a topic may not be enough to get us to where we need to go. All right? When I first started doing research, it was all foreign to me too. I didn't understand it. Like, why do I need to use these formalities to find out what I need to know? But I realized that it's a process, okay? The process is you got to start with basics. Like when you guys build a building, okay, you have to start with a foundation. And that foundation is only going to be as good as how strong and supported that building is going to be that you're putting up. So your foundation has to be clear on what it is you are trying to prove. So whatever it is that you believe in now, that's valid. So that's number one. So whatever you wrote on the board that first day, that is going to be your hypothesis. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter at this point. It's just what you're going to research. That's your point of reference. Now, what I asked you all to do is to do an outline. That means to set out 4 or 5 goals that support that hypothesis. So, for example, if we're talking about when it rains the sky is blue, the first thing you got to do is come up with a goal, and that is, what happens when the sky is blue? Well, we all know that the sun is out. We all know that it's usually warm. We all, you know what I'm trying to say. But that's your first goal. And then when the sky isn't blue would be his second goal. What happens when the sky isn't blue? Then it's cloudy. Then it rains. Okay? Now, the first and the second goal aren't related. They're the opposites to each other. But in order to prove the first one, you got to use opposite goals to get your point across of what you're trying to prove. All right? The third thing is, well, what happens when it rains? Well, when it rains, the sky's cloudy. But your research will find that out after you put that down as a goal. So the point I'm trying to make is, I asked you to come up with 4 or 5 goals that are going to support that hypothesis. All right? That's it. Once you did those goals, once you set those goals, you come up with a literature review. That was the formality of it. If you read your book, this is what a literature review is about. Literature review are all the things that you look up to support each section of your paper. And each section of your paper is going to be one of those goals that support the hypotheses. That's all. It's really nothing more than that. So your literature review might be all the things that you looked up, all right? All the data that you found out. Say goal number 1, what happens when the sky is blue? Well, all those things you look up have to do, well, the sun is shining, the sky is blue, the sun is coming through the ozone layer that makes the sky appear to be bright blue instead of dark blue like the night. See, that's what I'm saying. That's where the literature is going to take you. And where can I get my literature review? From your book. You can Google it. You can interview people. Maybe you know an astronomer that can explain to you why the sky is blue. That's an interview that is a valid point of reference. So what I'm saying is the literature review are things that you put down in each one of your goals. They support that. So some of you might have been confused of what that means. That's all that it means. So when I asked you to do an outline for a literature review, you're coming up with all the different things that support each one of your goals. That's what that's about. And honestly, the feedback I've given you, no one's really done bad on it. I don't expect you to be research experts on this. I expect you to understand what you need to do a sample, okay? And that means you might want to go out and interview someone based on, that's what research is about. That's why we're doing this course. So you may want to talk to someone about why the sky is blue. And that's a valid sample of gathering your data. Some of you wanted to do a comparative analysis on housing. Well, you talk to some people that are involved in that, and then you compare that to your literature review. Now we're going to go over that, and I'm going to help you with all of that and putting your paper together. So no one is going to do badly. And I am as close as the phone. If you have to call me up, I might not get to you at that second, but I'll go back and I'll have this conversation with you. I'll get on my computer and I'll look on the computer with you. I will help you. So we can do this and we'll get through it together. So have a great Memorial Day weekend, and I'm at 617-842-2856. John the Tico, signing out.